Peter Grose, thank you so much for joining me today for a little video chat.
My pleasure.
Last year we did a little bit of a series of interviews with MWC board members, and they were really well received. So we thought we'd sort of extend that to WCA executives so that our members can get to know a little bit more about WCA, the folks that are sort of behind the scenes, so to speak. So can you give us a little bit of background as how you got involved in the construction industry?
Well, it was, we'll have to go way back here in time to 1989. So I just finished high school, and my brother actually worked for the same company I'm with right now, Westland Construction. And so it was one of my only interviews in life, which was June of 1989. I just graduated high school. So I wanted to get into construction to make money so I could pay for my university, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, it was one of my only interviews of sitting on this side of the table, or the other side of the table, I suppose, of like, you're Andy's brother, yeah, you're from the farm, yeah, you can start Monday, yeah. And so yeah, I worked summers and also part-time during the winters while I was in university from 89 to 95. And I did bring you a little prop today too. So just to verify my story here. So this is my first paycheck.
That's awesome.
So I started in June of 1989, and my first paycheck was issued in July for $223.24. I think I was making, it might have been $650, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, when I worked on the farm, I got paid a lot less, believe me. So anyways, that was a big step up. So anyways, that's how I got involved in the industry. And then I worked for 6 years in the field, summers, and again, part-times through the winter. I was able to stay away from all my student loans. And my background is actually in, I did a crim degree, a justice and law enforcement degree. And then I went into business and into my accounting. And one thing led to another in 95. The founder of Westland was diagnosed with cancer, actually, and had to get out of the business. And he and I just got along really well. And I did everything from A to Z in the field, from being on the bad end of a shovel to running jobs, doing concrete work, framing, et cetera, et cetera. And so he asked if I wanted to come into the office and learn the office end of the business in 95. And he was diagnosed with cancer shortly thereafter. I then bought into the company. We struck a deal on that right away. So I started buying into the company in 95. And here we are, flash forward to 2021. So that's how I got involved in the industry.
And for those that don't know, what is your role at Westland Construction?
Yeah, so I'm the president and CEO of Westland. So my operating role would be more as a general manager. So throughout the years of evolution, I've been able to take off all the various hats, and so I have had the advantage and privilege of really doing every job in our company. Like I say, from all the field positions to then coming into the office and doing the accounting, doing the estimating, the project management, cleaning toilets, so all those glamorous jobs. So now my operational role is as a general manager.
Okay. What is the favorite thing about construction for you? Or what about construction keeps drawing you in and keeps it exciting for you?
I'd have to say it's the variety. No day, and it may sound like a bit of a cliche that no day is ever the same, but honestly, it isn't. And there's just no way that anybody could really learn everything in this industry, because there's just so much that's required. And certainly from a business owner standpoint, there's so many curveballs that get thrown at you on a continual basis. Whether it's a scope issue, whether it's a contract issue, an HR issue, all of these variety of things, and then go ahead and throw in a pandemic, and then it's like, okay, let's roll up our sleeves and get at it again. So really, it's the variety and challenge that I see daily. And I really think when I see other people when they talk about their industries, I think it's certainly a lot more static as far as the challenges. So I would have to say that that's certainly probably one of the most exciting things that kind of keeps you feeling like that you haven't been doing this for over 30 years. Because again, I continually see new challenges that are like opening up a new book.
What frustrates you about the construction industry?
what I find probably the most frustrating thing is that I think that all of us involved in construction don't regard ourselves as the professionals that we are. We have a very unique skill set that the rest of society doesn't have. We look at a building and we understand how it's put together. We understand, all the complexities that are involved in going ahead and making that structure of society that is going to stand there for 50 plus years. And so one thing that I'm really bothered by is the fact that we need to hold ourselves as professionals so that others hold ourselves as professionals. And that's one of the challenges that I think that we have in recruitment, is that if we can go ahead and up that game as far as how society regards construction, we're going to see a lot more uptake from the younger generation, because we can offer such a great career. From a compensation standpoint, the money that you can actually make, after having been in the business for only a couple of years, it's certainly far surpasses a lot of other industries. But again, I think it starts with us, and I think that we have to go ahead and regard ourselves as professionals so that others will go ahead and that'll be accepted by the general population. And it also rolls down to the fact that the amount of compensation that we as construction professionals are able to charge, it drives me a little crazy how you can have someone who may not need to have nearly as much experience or education, but they can troubleshoot the IT and come fix your mouse, and you accept that bill for $125 an hour. Yet in the industry, we feel ourselves really challenged to go ahead and to bill out services of our professionals for nowhere near that amount and still get challenged on it. So that's probably one of my biggest beefs.
Do you think if we saw a shift in that sort of mentality for society, do you think that would attract more women to not only the industry, but even on the skilled trade side? Because we're still at, under 6% in the skilled trades for women.
100%. And I think that, like I say, I think there's a lot of really positive ancillary benefits that can come from that notion of professionalism, because it's not just a self-serving issue. It's an issue that is going to go ahead and have so many positive results that can go into our society, attract individuals as a whole, and certainly go ahead and attract more women into construction. To have access to such a small segment of the population is really a shame. And we can be, like I said, to be able to go ahead and access the population as a whole, whatever their background, status, or gender, etc., would be so much better for our industry.
So Westland and yourself has been a huge supporter of Manitoba Women in Construction, one of our platinum sponsors several years running. Why is it so important to you to show that support?
It's a spin-off of what we just spoke of, in the fact that if you're going to go ahead and pick a team, and you're only able to go ahead and access a certain small amount of the players, you're really not able to get the best team. So to get the best team, we need to go ahead and to be able to go ahead and have access to our entire population. And so I think Women in Construction is the organization itself serves such a big need in our society, and it takes us a long way on us being able to go ahead and have access to the entire pool, so we can put the best team together possible. So that's why we're such huge supporters of it, because we believe in it heavily. And I would really like to see the day when we put an ad out there and we see half women and half men apply for it. And I'd really like to. I hope that I get to see that day.
So if your daughter came to you, and I know you do have a daughter, and she said, "Dad, I love coming to construction sites and I think I'm good with my hands. I want to be a carpenter." What advice would you give her?
Well, believe me, I've given a lot of tutorials in my shop with that exact intent in mind. With my kids, we have 2 country properties, and so I'm always tinkering. I really enjoy my shop time and working with my hands and things like that. So I try to expose my kids to all the tools. Just recently I was showing how to do a miter saw and how to operate it properly. So I'm certainly I'm trying. I haven't seen the switch go off yet with my daughter, but I will continue. I will continue to try. But certainly, I would fully promote it.
What would you tell parents that don't have the construction background that you do? If one of their daughters came to them and said, "Hey, I'm interested in construction," what could you advise parents to say to their daughters?
I think being able to have the ability to be part of making a footprint on our society, which is construction. You drive through, our society where we live, it's full of buildings. Like we can't exist as humans without buildings. To be able to have that opportunity to go ahead and be part of that making of our own history is really unique. And so what I would say is, try to inspire them so they can have a different appreciation for it. And hey, by all means, and I've said this to many people who have voiced a desire to get into construction, like as far as younger people, spoken to people in high school who have voiced that, and I've said, hey, come on in, let's come and see what construction looks like. And or if they're looking at getting involved in a certain segment of our industry, I'll call up other companies and say, hey, this individual has voiced a desire to get involved in the industry, and in your specific portion of it, would you mind giving them access and give them a little tutorial? So that's what I've tried to do, go ahead and promote that aspect of things. But certainly for parents, by all means, it's a great profession to be involved with. I think from a compensation standpoint, you can get traction a lot quicker in this trade, and certainly the avenues that you can stem off into are there's such a wide range of them.
Awesome, great, thanks, Peter. We're going to change tactics a little bit. I'm going to ask you a few very just relaxed, more personal questions so that our members sort of can get an idea of who you are. Sure. One of the questions I've asked previous ones is hockey or football, but considering your attire today, I think we kind of have the answer. So that's fantastic. Do you watch football as well, or no, it's just hockey for you?
You know what, I watch a little bit of football. I when it gets to the playoffs, I'll pay a lot more attention, but certainly hockey is that's the sport that I really enjoy following, and I am a Jets fan for sure, so I really hope that I'm watching hockey for a lot longer this year. But as soon as the Jets aren't involved, I certainly I'll have to admit that my attention certainly wanes, and I'm certainly not nearly as engaged. So yeah, definitely hockey or football, but yeah, that would be my answer to that one.
Awesome. When you do have a little bit of spare time, what do you seem to do with it?
We've got two kids, 11 and 13, and it seems that life since they've been born has certainly been taken over by them, and so really enjoy spending time with them. We have two country properties. We live in the country here, just south of Winnipeg, and then we have a cabin, and so we really try to max out on enjoying all the seasons. Winter, spring, summer, fall. So we do a really wide range of activities with the kids and ourselves. So really try to again make use of the Manitoba seasons that we have. So that and just maintaining two country properties certainly chews up a lion's share of my spare time. My wife and I also coach. So my wife coaches ringette, has for a number of years. Since my daughter's probably been 5 or 6, and I've done the same with my son's hockey. So that, as many of you who can appreciate coaching, can chew up an inordinate amount of time. But certainly, really love it and enjoy all those aspects and being able to spend as much time with the kids while we have them. Yeah, because it's certainly a short window of time.
Absolutely. So what's your favorite season then? In Manitoba, we're lucky enough to have really experience all four, sometimes within the same week. But what would be your favorite season?
I'd have to say right now, you know what, I don't enjoy the bitter -40s, but yet I will still go out and snowmobile and do all the things that you can. And then also on the flip side, the +40, I don't enjoy that extreme heat, but certainly like the seasons right now, awesome. No mosquitoes, and being able to get out when it's still nice and cool and crisp in the mornings, and and still enjoy a nice hot sunny day. So I would have to say the shoulder seasons of spring and fall are certainly probably my most enjoyable.
And what would be your favorite summer beverage then?
Oh dear, summer beverage. Well, I'd probably have to go with Captain Morgan and Coke for sure, with some nice ice and a little lime. I'd say that one would probably top the charts. And and I also enjoy a nice glass of wine too.
Okay, and does that change in the winter seasons at all? Do you have a winter beverage that you enjoy?
No, I'm kind of a social animal when it comes to drinking, so I'm not overly picky, and will quite often find myself with a beer when we finally get back into being social animals. So yeah, I'm not overly hard set on any one type of beverage.
Awesome. So we've experienced about 15, 16 months of this whole COVID restrictions type of stuff. Have you learned anything about yourself during this time?
You know what? I've certainly come to appreciate the fact that I grew up on the farm, and we were on literally like thousands of acres around us with nobody around, and so I've certainly come to appreciate that I still really enjoy that the solitary peacefulness of just not having to be go all the time. With being shut down and used to having literally on the go almost 7 days a week with 2 kids, I really have come to appreciate the slower pace. So again, I think it's kind of a flip side. I've come to appreciate that aspect of things, just having a lot more peace and quiet. And but I think I will also appreciate the fact that when we can get together with friends and family, certainly to hold those moments a lot more dear and precious, because not being able to have it again gives you an appreciation for that as well. So I'd have to say I've come to appreciate both sides of the coin.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Peter. It's been great talking with you, and I think our members have gotten to know you a little bit better.
Right on. Well, thank you for the opportunity, and thanks for everything you're doing for the industry.